In at 10, Five Nights in Anime. Okay, now this isn't exactly a mod for a FNAF game in general, but it's a modification of the characters and the story that will make your significant other question everything if they see you playing it. So you know what, I'm gonna count it, plus I need more for this list. There was not 10 actual mods. I mean, like, hey, I know that people love animatronics, and I know that that love can get a little weird, but even I was surprised to learn that this game existed. And you know what, I've seen a lot of fan art for this franchise, a lot of it, and I thought that I'd seen it all, but apparently I haven't, because you know what, here's Five Nights in Anime. This game was basically created to parody FNAF, where instead of you being a security guard at a Freddy's restaurant, you're actually hired as the security guard at an anime convention, and it's up to you to watch over these anime-style animatronic versions of the Freddy's cast. Yeah, they're still animatronics. We've got the core cast of animatronics, they're just stylized as well-endowed anime ladies, because why not? I don't know. I think the really weird thing about this game is that how many people seemed to want more of it and then wanted a version that leads more into the genre itself instead of just being a parody, which is kind of weird. In at 9, Buff Freddy and Morty. And don't think that I'm not gonna be inclusive. For all those who love the dudes, who love the trash men of every universe, Buff Freddy and Morty are here to honestly make me feel just as uncomfortable as any other mods that are on this list. The last time that this mod was updated, it was 6 months ago, and it, quote, added super buff versions of Freddy and Monty, optionally making them even beefier. Created by storebrand_mods on Game Banana, this is certainly something. Although they swear it was just meant to be a small model edit that makes Freddy and Monty a good bit beefier, they blame any other feelings that you get from this mod on a thumbnail for a gameplay video on the Vanamelon channel on YouTube. Which, yeah, I looked at it, it's certainly kinda sus. Okay? It is worth noting, however, that if you do want to install this, the mod requires Unnervum to actually install properly. Not sure what that means. I don't really mod Security Breach, but I guess plenty of you understand it. At least if you're watching this this list for more mods to add to your to download section. I'm sure you'll understand it. Okay, these animatronics are already scarily jacked, though I didn't think you needed to make them any beefier, but you did, so there you go. In at 8, Roxy's Mega Pizzaplex. Are you obsessed with Roxy? If you are, I'm sure any relationship you have is already on the rocks. However, if you really want to drive your obsession into the ground, this Roxy Mega Pizzaplex mod is for you. Created by user Moon on Game Banana, this isn't really that kind of mod, but it's definitely questionable why you'd change the Pizzaplex to be about Roxy. I mean, it could make sense for like after the main story when Freddy leaves, but even then it would be Monty who replaced him. Luckily enough though, they actually come up with an explanation for this and replace Monty with someone else. However, they also replace the original Roxy with Freddy. So if Freddy is still there, I don't know how this works with the lore, but you know what? Oh well. It's not a mod that will make your internet provider worry that you're okay, but it's still a mod that will make your significant other or any prospective partner think twice about what's going on in your head. You know what? Either one. Either head, you know? But yeah, I definitely would question it as well. Chica's Mega Pizzaplex, though. That's understandable. In at 7, DJ Circus Baby. DJ Music Man is one of the coolest additions to Security Breach, which is why it makes me concerned that they're turning him into other characters, particularly DJ Circus Baby. Quote from the mod author RSH Vlogs on YouTube. This mod replaces DJ Music Man with Circus Baby. The boss fight looks so cool and scary. And straight up, these screenshots are haunting as hell. They seem to have adapted the baby model used in Help Wanted, but made it even more cursed by turning it into a giant pseudo spider. And you know what? I fucking hate it. I despise it with a burning passion. What the living Jesus made you think that this was an okay idea? My brain does not want to even think of how this concept inseminated your brain and then was birthed just through sheer buffoonery. Okay? Her hair pokes out of the size of the tunnels. That's terrifying. Why would you forsake me like this? And we're not even done the list. We're not even halfway through. I don't want to look at this anymore. Can we move on, please? Or like, does the video need to be longer? And at 6, Freddy Footbear. Alright, look. Okay, I'm not one to yuck someone's yum. Okay, I'm not here to kink shame. I actually understand the science behind this kind of fascination. The two sections of the brain are so close that like the neural networks can sometimes get crossed. And that's totally 100% okay. Alright, nothing to be ashamed of. I'm not into it, but if you are, that's fine. The only thing I'm questioning here is adding this feature to a giant 80s glam rock themed bear animatronic that's in a video game. That's the part that's kind of strange to me, okay? And the mod author isn't any help, okay? As Seaborg on Game Banana puts it, quote, gives Glamrock Freddy a pair of human feet. No, I won't elaborate. So thanks for the help on that, Seaborg, or Keborg, I guess. I don't know how exactly you would say it. It starts with a CE, so I'm inclined to say Seaborg. But because it's kind of like cyborg, but I'm also inclined to say keyboard because, like, you know, Connor with the C. But you know what? Since you won't elaborate, neither will I. Next number. Halfway through into number 5, Old Sun and Moon. Swaps out textures with edited ones to make them more creepy. Still based by preference if it's creepy, is the description for this mod. And honestly, it's incredibly accurate. And also the foundation for these lists, okay? If it's creepy or scary is based on preference. So I don't know why people keep commenting stuff like this isn't scary, because you know what? It might not be scary to you, but it could be scary to someone else, so stuff off. Anyway, this old texture for Sun and Moon is hella creepy, and honestly I'm kind of glad that I didn't have this one installed, otherwise I might have actually come close to puking. Like this one is hella creepy, dude, and like even just the sun is bad. Wait till you see the moon too. Like they're both cracked like mosaic tiles or mosaic or however you say that word. Like tiles, or like they look like stained glass, and it makes me hella sus. I don't know how I feel about this guy already, but I feel like this guy is going to grab me in awkward places, and then I'm gonna get cuts all over those places because he looks like broken glass. I'm surprised that he didn't just fall apart in the ball pit. Like one little flick and this dude crumbles. They just really seem to be after my fastballs. And I'm gonna keep making jokes about how creepy this because honestly, I don't like it. Okay, it's wrong. He's messed up. In at 4, Five Nights of Love. Oh yes, another fan game, okay? One that I didn't know existed, but I had a feeling that it would. I figured that if KFC could have a dating sim, then FNAF might have one too, right? And it absolutely does. I'm just waiting for the FNAF console. Ah, you heard me right, alright? It's a FNAF dating sim. You love shipping animatronics with everything, living or not, in the games or not, and you know what? With a human trapped in a suit and a pile of trash, or a human trapped in a suit and a short skeleton from the underworld, you'll still ship it, and it's disturbing. But this time, you get to decide who actually makes the cut in Five Nights of Love. Tracking via cameras, you look at the rooms of a public place, and you'll periodically meet the toy versions of Chica, Foxy, Freddy, and Balloon Boy. With each one of them, the player can have like a heart-to-heart talk, or try to hug them, which is a whole other thing, but you know what, you give them all your love and attention, and then thanks to the treatment, the level of the toy's love towards you will increase, but also your energy will decrease, and then once your energy is out, you have to return to your office, your actual room, or I guess go home, and then come back the next day and start again. Partially though, you can actually like recharge energy at Balloon Boy once a day, I think, if you get lucky. But over this period of 5 days, you gotta make sure as many animatronics love you as possible, which is weird, and a whole, I don't want to start any animatronic orgies, alright? That's kind of weird, but you know what? The higher score you get, the more successfully you complete this game. Why is this a thing? Why? Getting close to the end in number 3, Hallows Eve. Now we're starting to get to the collections, which definitely are going to be at the top, because let's be honest, the more the scarier, am I right? Instead of the more the merrier, pardon the pun. Elite Robo made a mod for Dreadbear and Grim Foxy from the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted DLC Curse of Dreadbear that replaces Nightmarion and Ennard. And we all know how much I love the Help Wanted DLC, especially since Grim Foxy is my favorite animatronic at this point. But these animatronics are definitely going to be freaky being added to a game when they hadn't really been created yet. Oh god, imagine the lore that would come from them being in this game. I don't care how many jump scares or whatever that I have to deal with, the scariest part of Five Nights at Freddy's will always be the lore, no matter what, okay? If it has any lore implications, no matter what it is, I will run away screaming. I mean, I would run now, but there's kind of like a wall here, so I can't run. Finally, into number 1, not Modest Animatronics. And this is another number that I felt like I had to put on this list, because this is what made me have to do the list in the first place. I can't actually say the name of the actual mod without getting in trouble from the gods above, those being Susan and the rest of YouTube's staff and AI algorithms. However, this not modest or not clothed animatronics mod is very concerning for me, okay? People keep DMing me, trying to tell me to download this mod. No! This mod removes the clothing. I'm putting air quotes on it because, again, it's plastic, okay? And then it leaves both Roxy and Chica exposed. So clearly it's not gonna be a viable option for a YouTube playthrough, okay? And the Patreon isn't even, I'm not stooping myself to that level, okay? But also, why are they so well endowed with this mod? Why? Sweet heavens, why? Okay, at least if you're gonna make this mod, make it realistic, okay? Like, come on. They must be wearing some high-tier compression fabric or something like that, okay? Because when you have this mod, yowza! Plus, apparently, images on Google also show me that there's a Monty version of this mod, giving him, as well, some well-endowed chest articles, which is just... why? What the hell is up with that? Monty doesn't need chesticles, okay? In at 10, Fat Vanessa. This mod is what made me want to do a whole security breach, but it's ruined by mods playthrough, because Fat Vanessa is just a whole load of WT. Yeah. Available for download on Nexus Mods. The description for this mod reads, quote, "Despite the fact that she's in the game for next to no time at all, I had a mighty need to make some chonky Vanessa. This is obviously for a niche audience, but turn back if this isn't for you. No, this does not include Vanny," which I mean, I guess makes sense since... Actually, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, maybe the Vanity suit is just like high quality compression fabric or something, because holy lord is Vanessa huge with this mod. It certainly helps me, since typically in a playthrough I would be a Vanessa simp. I don't know, man. Just something about the sass when she's interrogating Freddy, and then she's like being all sarcastic, not to mention the baddie side, and I think we all love a girl who cosplays. I don't know, okay? It does something to me. Luckily though, this mod kind of stops that, because it's not really the same person anymore. It could be worse though. It could be like I was there for her after her father died and then she started, but that would never happen, right? In at 9, Glam Roxands. Freddy, but with a sans head. That's kinda it. Also compatible with clean animatronics. That's the description for this mod. It's spot on. This is just Glamrock Freddy with Sans' face. I don't know what else to really say about this. I mean, I could point out how disturbed I am by this now that I've made the cringy fan ships list, since people were shipping William Afton and Springtrap with Sans. But why would I make you and myself relive that trauma? Oh, that's right, because what the actual holy living... Putting Sans in security breach really concerns me, because like, who the ever-loving hell thought that it wouldn't result in something incredibly concerning now? Because this opens the door to now Burntrap and Sans shippers, and this isn't something I ever wanted to revisit. However, it's looking like an impossibility now. Okay, for this number, I'm making my own category of mods. This number is for any mod that makes any of the characters bigger, and in this case, I typically mean thicker. There are quite a few, and it's honestly kinda concerning. Beer Belly Freddy and Monty, for example, but what I really mean is Thunder Thighs Vanny, Thick Vanessa, and multiple mods that, let's say, enhance Roxy and Chica, sometimes separately, sometimes not. There are separate bigger Roxy and Chica mods, but there's also one on the Nexus that makes both Chica and Roxy bigger in certain areas, as the mod author describes it. Like, I understand that sex sells, but like, seriously, why with animatronics? Like, honestly, Chica is already pretty damn thick, especially Toy Chica, and Roxy seems to already have a lot of fans based off her original version, so why do we need to, expand them when we can just leave them the way they are and admire them for their naturally constructed by man and made out of plastic figures? Or, hear me out, okay, we don't worry about that at all, unless I'm talking about Chica, okay? I don't know if I'll be talking about Chica like this until I get a girlfriend, or me talking about Chica in this way is actively preventing me from getting a girl. Oh well, you know what? Either way, at least I have Chica until I don't need her anymore. And at 7, Five Nights in Anime 2. And you know what? Just when I thought that those fan games couldn't get any worse, Five Nights in Anime has a sequel. Oh boy. And you know what? They just keep coming. It's like the all-star of FNAF games. This version of Five Nights in Anime is even more bizarre than the first one, and it's really more of the same though, with the same tropes, but this time parodying it. Can you guess it? Yeah, that's right. FNAF 2. My question is though, if this is a parody in the exact same vein, did we really need a sequel for it? Okay, I don't know. But I mean, there might have been a good amount of people asking for it, considering how this is a thing that we did get. Although, I do want to acknowledge the fact that the first Five Nights in Anime game got 3.5 million downloads, then the second one only got 1.8. So, maybe you shouldn't have done it. Although 1.8 million, if I got 1.8 million views on a video, that would be insane. Either way, it's better than that one mod for Security Breach, okay, that people keep telling me to download in my Instagram DMs. Don't worry, I'll talk about it later. Yeah, you do realize what platform this is, right? I could not share that. Although, if I did it on like Patreon or something. Does OnlyFans have rules against that? And at 6, Minecraft Pig over Freddy. There are a lot of over Freddy or instead of Freddy mods for Security Breach. It's part of why I think the Choose Your Guardian DLC would be pointless and won't happen. This Minecraft Pig over Freddy mod is certainly something weird. Quote, ride a Minecraft pig in Security Breach. That's the description, and I think it makes it pretty obvious. Instead of riding inside Freddy when using him like a mech, you're instead riding on a Minecraft pig. I don't know how this looks on like the parts and service table, and honestly I don't really want to know, but this is something that I definitely want to add to the series on the channel now because damn, it's weird. I mean, probably like one of the weirder ones on this list. I should have put it higher, but while a Minecraft pig might be weird, and these next ones get disturbing. And you know what? Since we're talking Minecraft, and frankly I need this number to be a little longer, why not come over to Minecraft Nightmare and give that channel a subscribe if you do indeed like Minecraft, okay? It's all Minecraft all the time. It's basically all the top 10 gaming goodness with myself, Jay, and Hero Brian. So yeah, do that or be banned from watching this channel. I'm wearing the crown for a reason. Halfway through into number 5, scrap Orville Elephant. Orville Elephant isn't a particularly scary character. This remains the same for the rest of the mediocre melodies. However, this scrap Orville mod using a model by user Holo Paxum is honestly terrifying. Scrapping animatronics always makes them scarier. And with the lore implications that the original Orville added with some of his death lines in the game, I can only imagine what a scrap Orville would add. While the page doesn't explicitly state it, I'm guessing that the mod would replace the original Orville to help him look like just more of a scrap animatronic. And to be frank, this is probably the scariest scrap animatronic that I've seen, even if it is fan-made. Ooh, should we make like a scary fan-made scrap animatronics list? I think that would be cool. Oh, I'll write that down. And at 4, Megarina's Mega Pizza Plex. Now this is probably the biggest mod on this list. Basically, this mod changes the entire map, or a majority of it at least, from Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizza Plex to Megarina's Mega Pizza Plex, which is ironic since the original name of the character is Mini-Rina. It also changes Glam Rock Freddy into Megarina, which is far more disturbing than I imagined. As the description on Game Banana says, this mod replaces a big number of assets relating Freddy to Megarina ones. It took a lot of time and I had many great people to help me out with stuff. I hope you like it, and please do check out the people that contributed. Of course I couldn't change every single asset, but I tried to do as much as I can. I also don't have an infinite budget, meaning I couldn't get all art replaced. And by the way, any mod that I don't mention is from the Nexus does come from Game Banana. Okay, including any up until this point, but this is still an insane mod, so thank you to the creator Springy as well as the artists Star, Judy, Gumshoe, and Maz. It's still kind of weird though, gotta admit it, because it kind of comes out of nowhere, but it's well done. Getting close to the end in number 3, Nightmare Sun. This mod replaces Moondrop with Nightmare Sun. This creates the Sun Transforms into Nightmare Sun mod by RSH on Game Banana. And let me tell you, this is one hella freaky character. Honestly, this is one of the freakiest versions on this list. And if it wasn't for what's coming up and some slight memeage, it would 100% be the number 1 pick. This mod somehow completely removes the feeling of a creeper or predator out of this character and replaces it with actual terror. I don't know how the hell I would be playing playing this game if this were a part of it. And honestly, if this wasn't supposed to be a ruined by mods series instead of like security breach, but it's actually scary series, I would have been all over this mod because it genuinely makes the daycare sequence horrific. Especially if you aren't me and don't use the whole gamma up screen brightening trick to actually get through it as fast as possible, okay? I found that very beneficial. The first time I tried the daycare, it took me hours, okay? I wasn't good at it. I wanted it to be easier this time around. But with this installed, I don't think I would ruin the mod with that. I would just use the flashlight, but it's terrifying. Penultimately, in at number 2, Security Breach Endgame. Have you ever wanted the FNAF Security Breach cast to be the Avengers? Yeah, me neither. Never really crossed my mind. But nevertheless, here comes ML Spence 3D and Security Breach Endgame, a mod that changes each FNAF character to be a different Avengers member. Now, Chica is Black Widow, Roxy is Black Panther, Gregory is Spider-Man, Freddy is Iron Man, Monty is the Hulk, and Vanessa is Loki. However, considering how Monty dies, it should have been him being Black Widow, because you know he falls. The two scenes are very similar. However, I understand why they went with him being the Hulk instead. It makes more sense for the rest of the game. I don't know why this mod was created or why anyone thought it was necessary, but damn, it's actually pretty impressive. I kind of want to do a Freddy Fazbear Iron Man suit cosplay now. But like a normal Iron Man suit with Freddy Fazbear colors. But like my 3D printer isn't big enough for that. Yet. Plus, there's actually a really sick release trailer for the mod, so take a look. In at 10, Huggy Woogie. Huggy Woogie is the main antagonist of Poppy Playtime Chapter 1. Huggy Woogie was created by Playtime Co. to be embraced by children, because you can like hugs, Huggy Woogie, embracing, yeah. The toy soon became the most successful product of the company, but was eventually modified at some point prior to the events of the game with some form of scientific procedure that turned it into a flesh being with a human brain and organs. It made him a monster, basically. His first appearance saw him pretend to be a statue to fool the player. As soon as the player managed to grab the key for the next room and turning the power back on, Huggy Wuggy disappears from his pedestal, and then, throughout the game, he stalks the player from vents or high unreachable places. And this mod turns this freak of nature into the goddamn daycare attendant. Now, I'll be honest, the daycare attendant is already normally pretty sus if you ask me. Like, this man could use a conversation with Chris Hansen if you catch my drift, but turning them into Huggy Wuggy seems like a little much. In at 9, Simon YOC. Simon YOC is an original character owned by @SolidNoise on TikTok. This mod only replaces Sun, but it is still creepy as hell. I know nothing about this character, but from the comments on this one, it is absolutely terrifying. So let me read you some of these comments so you can have context. Quote, "Oh no, Jangle the Puss Puss has gotten her hands on Roxanne Wolf." Quote, "Whoa, she's so beautiful. Good job, really like it." What? I know nothing about this character, but I think that makes it even worse. Hopefully. Actually, you know what? It's probably better that I don't know. I don't want to know about this character because the more I know, the more I'm liable for when it's revealed that they're actually a predator. In at 8, Shadow YOC. Now, while you might think that this Shadow the Rabbit mod is the dark antithesis of the Simon character that we just mentioned, the mod author states that Shadow the Rabbit replaces Moon, and that Shadow is owned by FightMe024 on TikTok. There are no comments on this one, luckily, but again, this is some creepy. Like, there are only a few images of this, and the last one, which means that I can't make the numbers too long, but for real, this guy is kind of horrific looking. It's kind of creepy. With 2 likes, 111 downloads, and 1.1 thousand views, I think we can all agree that this is even more likely to be a predator than the last character, hence why they're higher on the list. However, unfortunately, this is not the last original character that we'll be dealing with today, but it is still giving me the heebie-jeebies, so we're just going to move on. And at 7, Into the Pit Spring Bonnie. If you've seen the cover of Into the Pit, you'll know about this Into the Pit Spring Bonnie, the main antagonist of the story of the same name. And by the same name, I mean the name is Into the Pit, not Into the Pit Spring Bonnie. Either way, this version of Spring Bonnie is basically a nightmare version of the character, except more repaired than the other Nightmare animatronics. Because let's be honest, in this series, a fully repaired animatronic with no damage in the style of the FNAF 1 robots is actually terrifying. I don't know why these proportions and this style of animatronic is just so creepy to me, but it is. And while it may not be as common of a thought to add the Fazbear Frights cover characters into Ultimate Custom Night, well, maybe aside from Fetch, I think that they're worth it. As I'm sure you could expect, this mod is from Elite Robo on DeviantArt, and the post has 2 links to download the mod from, one being a Discord link and the other being some weird file sharing service that isn't Mediafire or Dropbox, so I personally wouldn't trust it, but hey, it's up to you. And it's 6 Mini Rena. Okay, so this mod is one that we had installed on the security breach, but it's ruined by mods playthrough on this channel, and this was pretty damn creepy. This is basically just replacing the sun and moon with colored versions of the Mini Rena with jester hats on top, and then upscaled to be the size of my nightmares. Now, like, when this was loaded into the game for the first time, I had absolutely no idea that it was, and I was absolutely terrified. But I mean, like, hey, it could be worse, right? Yeah, it actually can be. It's just going to get worse, wait and see. I will admit though that this certainly made the moon animatronic creepier than it was especially when it started crawling around the play structure when I was looking for the generators. I actually screamed and I nearly cried. I didn't come close to throwing up, which, let's be honest, would have made a great episode. Like, imagine if I had thrown up on camera. Like, damn. That's some old gaming YouTuber moment vibes, you know? It's like peak Smosh games. Halfway through into number 5, Fat Freddy and Monty. Ah yes, with a ton of people online claiming to love dad bods and only dad bods so that they can get even more followers and attention, you know that I was going to have to include Fat Freddy and Monty. I feel like dad bod Freddy and Monty would have been a better name for this and gotten more clicks, but you know what, it's fine. You can fat shame guys online, right? That's the rule, right? Body shame guys and guys only. Yeah, like 50 Cent, oh man, haha. That dude let go. Anyway, have you heard Lizzo's new song lately? Okay, sorry. Double standards aside, this is quite simply just a beer belly Monty and Freddy. Or as the mod author Moik puts it, Moik, I'm sorry for the horrible pronunciation, quote, "Another cursed mod makes Montgomery and Freddy look like Discord mods." But at least this way, you fitting in Glamrock Freddy's chest cavity actually kind of makes more sense, because it wouldn't just be a 14-inch vertical hole. It's like that, but horizontally now. So I think that's kind of more accurate. I mean, I could nearly fit in that, I think. Like, my shoulders are like 17 inches long, but like my head certainly isn't, so I feel like I could fit in it if I was facing the right way. Like, this is not 14 inches. So like, I could fit in it like that. I don't know. So like, this way, you don't have to be the size of a 4-year-old anymore, Gregory. There you go. But seriously, why do you have this mod installed already? Why? In it for the Daycare Puppet. This is just actually terrifying, okay? This is like if Baby and Ballora had a kid and it was in the form of a mini Rena, because, well, you're about to see. This is just absolutely horrifying, honestly. It was originally earlier in this list, but I bumped it up because, Christ almighty, I don't want to touch this with a 10-foot pole. The mod description for this reads, quote, "Update, I changed the files and stuff because it was too confusing for y'all. Some didn't even read the note I left, ... Well, it is what it is. Enter here with a new mod. This time the one returning is none other than the puppet as Daycare Puppet. She'll replace Sun and Moon with 2 different models. You can also have Sleepy Guard Puppet replacing Moon and Sun if you like it better that way. And you know what? I don't like it either way. It's a well-made mod, and honestly, absolutely amazing hands down, but this is one of the most cursed things that I have ever seen in my life. Like, dear Lord, why did we think that we had to do this? Why did we have to do this list? I say that as if I didn't make myself do this list, but like, god damn it, me! Getting close to the end, and in number 3, DJ White Woman. This is... I don't... Remember how I said that DJ Baby was cursed? But then it gets worse? Yeah, here's worse. This is a direct quote from the description of DJ White Woman. God, I hate this. One of the worst things to come out of Security Breach. This mod replaces DJ Music Man with a god-awful Spider Vanessa hybrid. Yes, I hate it too. This is just absolutely horrific. Okay, you're seeing the pictures right now, certainly, and hopefully you're just as confused, scarred, and worried as I was. Because if I have to suffer this, and the editor has to suffer this, you have to suffer this too. And while this number is about DJ White Woman, there is also another mod that I need to mention that turns DJ Music Man into MatPat. Yes, you heard that right. MatPat's iconic Music Man scream was so popular that it got him turned into a FNAF mod. I wish I was a FNAF mod. That would be insane. Can I be Crying Child or something? I whine a lot. Given like my hair, right? Blue eyes and a suit, that would be cool, right? I think that'd be cool. That's kind of a goal of mine now, to be turned into a mod. But hopefully something not as cursed as this. Actually, no, it's fine if it's cursed. I kind of prefer it that way. Penultimately, in at number 2, Waluigi. The Waluigi mod is something that unfortunately I wasn't able to find on the Nexus or on Game Banana, and I think that kind of sucks. This mod was seemingly the basis behind the security breach, but it's ruined by Mod's video series from Toasted Shoes, because that's the very first one that I saw, and it ended up being a load of crazy. This mod wasn't really that well made, I guess, for lack of a better term, since after all, the mod just placed Waluigi's model over the Sundrop model and didn't actually replace it, so Sundrop was still poking out in places. But the mod was seemingly removed from the Nexus. But it was at one point there, so I guess it's good that nobody else is gonna have to deal with that. But to be fair, it's also funny as all hell. I wish I could have played with this mod because, oh well, it's fine. I don't have to deal with it. This is still pretty damn cursed and not anything that I would want to deal with normally, but seriously, it's funny. It's hilarious. But still oddly terrifying at the same time. And isn't that the combination we all look for in a woman? I mean, mod, I might have said too much. And finally, in at number 1, the Puppet. This is 2 separate mods that work together because, well, they're both made by Braun on Game Banana on the Nexus and turned Sundrop and Moondrop respectively into the Puppet from FNAF 2 and Nightmarion from FNAF 4. Quote from the Nightmarion page: "This is a Nightmarion model swap for Moondrop, and yes, I know that the legs are disconnected, but this is the best I can get it right now." But I think that the disconnected legs makes it even creepier because it adds a layer of mystical or magical to the game. And I mean, considering how we're fighting against a woman possessed by the sentient living code of a dead serial killer, I think that a little magic is fine for this series. And I think that you can't really fight me on that point. Plus, then that character ends up getting replaced with a version of the serial killer's original endoskeleton infused body that then also gets filled with his sentient code form. So frankly, put any of these mods on this list would actually make sense, aside from the Huggy mod. I don't think that fits anywhere. And at 10, Scott Cawthon. Yes, that's right. Scott Cawthon is an Ultimate Custom Night. Okay, well, not normally in a sense, but you actually need to install this mod for it to work. But this mod, along with most of the mods on this list, comes from Elliot Robo on DeviantArt, which is honestly the last place I expected to find Ultimate Custom Night mods. So that's why these are all mostly going to be from him. Scott in this mod actually replaces the phone guy, since most of these mods require you to replace an animatronic, since that's just how the coding works, but still. Instead of Scott Cawthon talking as phone guy, you get Scott Cawthon talking as Scott Cawthon. It's not really scary in the normal sense, but rather because of the sheer implication that Scott being present in his own world would create, and the amount of work I would have to do to explain it. Only for nobody to care, because it didn't come from MatPat. Yeah, that's my life. That's why it's scary. In at 9, Fixed Trap. Scrap Trap is one of the most pointlessly controversial characters in FNAF history. Most people thought that it was just a more rundown Springtrap, and others assumed that it was an entirely separate character, which in some ways makes sense given that Scrap Trap's head is much larger than Springtrap's, but then that caused a load of people to think that Mike was Springtrap, and that's simply not the case. But this mod from, again, Elite Robo replaces Scrap Trap with a fixed version of the Spring Bonnie suit that he's wearing, which makes it seem less scary in theory, but it's highly unsettling. It's so smooth and the head shape is so odd, it looks like you're looking at a skull. I get uncomfortable looking at it. So yeah, if you want a fixed Scrap Trap that still sets you on edge, use this. Now for God's sakes, please take it away. And at 8, Alistor. Has-Been Hotel is an American adult animated web series created by Vinny Vizipop Medrano on YouTube. It was made entirely by freelance animators and is largely financed by his Patreon followers. The official pilot was released on YouTube on October 28, 2019, and on November 6, 2019, Medrano stated on Patreon that there was no release date for the second episode yet. By August 2020, the show developed a dedicated fan base, with the 31-minute pilot receiving over 61 million views as of May of this year, a rise from 32 million views in May of 2020. On August 7, 2020, it was also announced that A24 had picked up Hazbin Hotel for a full television series. Alistor, the radio demon, is an overlord of hell in the show. His voice sounds like it's coming through a radio, complete with static, sound effects, and theme music. He offers his services to Charlie in order to help her maintain her goal of running the hotel, but only for his own amusement. And they're added into Ultimate Custom Night by Charlie B. Jr. on Game Jolt and replaces Funtime Foxy. This is the only mod that's made by a different mod author on this list. I'm sorry, but that's just how it worked out. And at 7, Splunkus and Joinkus. Now, I really have no idea what these characters are, but I included them because there aren't really that many mods for the daycare attendant, okay? So, anyway, the name also reminds me of the TikTok trend for like the, what do you think, Wankus Bunkus? Kill him. Oh, you naughty Wankus Bunkus. You know that? The Wankus Bunkus? Yeah, that thing. Anyway, the description reads as follows, quote, "This mod replaces Sunbot and Moonbot models with the critically acclaimed Splunkus and Joinkus. No further comment needed. Gonna be real, I don't know what's up with the mod loader stuff, but I'm going to assume it works fine with this. All you need to do is extract splunkus.zip and drag pack chunk 34-windows no editor.pack into FNAF 9 content packs under your game's installation directory." That's all it says, okay? Although I do have to disagree, there is further comment needed because I have no idea where these came from or whose delusional mind thought that this was gonna be better than the original animatronics. Then the comments don't help either. Someone said that the mod doesn't seem to work until they renamed a folder. Someone said no way, and another person just replied with lol. Like, what the hell? Can someone actually help me with this, please, for the love of God? Like, what is this? Who did this? Whose brainchild birthed this? This is wrong. And at 6, Twisted Ones. Yep, you heard me right. You can have the Twisted Animatronics in Ultimate Custom Night for the simple price of replacing a couple animatronics. The ones this mod from Elite Robo adds are Twisted Freddy, Bonnie, and Foxy. There isn't a Twisted Wolf specifically. I think that Foxy is meant to be Twisted Wolf, except just more themed. But I don't even know if there was a Twisted Foxy. I didn't read the book. My sister has it, I just haven't borrowed it yet. However, Elite Robo has mentioned in the comments that they're willing to add additional characters in further mod updates if the models get released, since currently the models are from a Steam community page. And since this was already an update made back in Halloween 2020, it's been over a year, so I'm sure that other models have been released. It could also help explain why there's no Twisted Wolf and instead Twisted Foxy. There was just no model for it. But if you want to make a model for like Twisted Chica or something and send it to Elite Robo, I'm sure they'd be grateful. Halfway through into number 5, Small Head Freddy. Small Head Freddy is a mod that I'm currently using in the Security Breach But It's Ruined My Mod series, because honestly it's incredibly odd having this guy with a tiny head. It makes every moment incredibly entertaining even if it's supposed to be serious. Like when he's laying on the ground and he needs to go to parts and service and he's like, superstar. Like that's actually hilarious when he has a tiny head. It makes everything a joke when you're supposed to be crying. And then for some reason in parts and service his head is like normal sized. I mean, like, it makes sense based on like game mechanics, but it's lame. Make the game harder for me, please. Like, I want to see how precise I can be with my mouse clicks. Or let me use one of those like giant magnifying glasses that are like floating on like the boom arms, basically, right? That you see in like all of like they're in the Santa Claus, right? When he's trying to like read the clauses on the card, and they have to keep bringing the bigger ones like that. Yeah, let me use one of those. That'd be cool. That'd be sick! Mostly because I love torturing myself emotionally and mentally for your entertainment. Although, I do have my limit. Like, I won't actually torture myself unless it's really worth it. People keep suggesting that I get a Chica tattoo, but that seems like torturing myself a little too much. Maybe when gaming hits like 10 million subs, I'll do a Chica tattoo. At least, if they haven't fired me yet for suggesting animatronic Whoopi. And at 4, Dark Springtrap. Oh yeah, here's where we're getting to the good stuff. Dark Springtrap and Ultimate Custom Night is a mod that replaces Rockstar Chica with Dark Springtrap and RS, and Rockstar Chica's sign with a spare puppet mask. Dark Springtrap is basically Springtrap after the FNAF 3 fire, but before Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. The concept of Springtrap is already pretty dark, with a serial killer getting trapped inside of an animatronic suit unable to die because he's being possessed. But combine that with the whole FNAF 3 fire burning him slightly, and then you have some decent nightmare fuel. Springtrap isn't really that scary of a character, but Dark Springtrap certainly helps make him freakier, especially because most of the actual William body in this model seems to be gone. It's mostly an empty shell that actually technically makes him more of an animatronic than the original Springtrap, since normal Springtrap isn't an animatronic, it's just a dude trapped in an animatronic suit. I will die on this hill. Springtrap is not an animatronic, he is a dude who has just been augmented. Basically. Facts. Getting close to the end, and at number 3, Vanity Thunder thighs. I mean, it's something that we knew would happen, and I think that it's something that I've actually joked about in the past about wanting, but like, why would you do this to yourself and us? But like, also mostly yourself, because your name is attached to it, and I very clearly am not actually trying to nail Vanny or Vanessa, okay? Chica's my main girl. And you know what? I'm actually glad you kind of held back, okay? This mod could have been worse, okay? You could have taken this to the extreme. You could have made it that she's only wearing the mask. You could have made it that like her suit is skimpy, like basically every Skyrim armor mod ever. And you could have done a lot more, but you just made her thighs huge. And I can appreciate the restraint. I really can. So, mock again. I think that's how you'd say the name. I'm sorry if I keep butchering it. Well done on restraining yourself from going even harder. Pun absolutely intended. Of course, like Jesus, like I can't even deal with this anymore, okay? I think we've seen all of this enough, specifically, especially after seeing the comments on this mod. That one comment was yikes. Penultimately, and at number 2, Fan Game Trio. The Fan Game Trio mod pack is a mod that replaces Toy Bonnie as Pop Goes the Weasel, Toy Chica as Candy the Cat, and Withered Bonnie as Ignited Bonnie. These characters are from the 3 popular fan games Pop Goes, Five Nights at Candy's, and The Joy of Creation. Ironically, all of which are coming to the Fazbear Extended Universe thanks to the Fazbear Fanverse Initiative, which is certainly interesting since this mod for Ultimate Custom Night was released in 2019, meaning it predates the announcement for the Fanverse, which occurred in 2020. So technically this mod in a way could in theory be canon, but I'm not even going to get into that because let's be real, that would drive me too crazy. I'll let MatPat handle this one, even though I know for a fact that he won't, because come on, he shouldn't even try to step to me. I say that only because he has absolutely no idea who I am, and I'm okay with that at this point. But yeah, if you want to experience the Fazbear Extended Universe, there you go. All you need to do is get this mod by Elite Robo again, because of course it is. And finally, in at number 1, Bago Puppets. I think we all know how I feel about the puppet and the various different fan-made versions of the puppet that we've discussed on this channel, particularly the Reaper puppet. Luckily, this mod does not feature the Reaper puppet from the Final Night series, but rather the security puppet and the stylized puppet created by Tofu Kaj. That's probably not the right way to say it, but if I say it the way I'm guessing it's really pronounced, we make it demonetized. However, this mod replaces Nightmarion and the puppet respectively, and honestly, that's all I can really say. The stylized puppet in this game is absolutely terrifying, and I hate that this thing creeps me out so much. I feel like I'm the phone guy. My favorite animatronic is a version of Foxy, that being Grim Foxy, and I'm always creeped out by alternate versions of the puppet, just like the phone guy thinks that the puppet is always thinking. But luckily these animatronics aren't real and can't actually hurt me, I think, man. Whenever I end up having a kid and like they want to go to Chuck E. Cheese for some reason, they're always going to wonder why I either say no or I'm extremely cautious around these goddamn animatronics and the people in the Chucky suit. Like, they won't understand the struggle of having to talk about this series day after day. This series is gonna mess me up more than high school. Oh yeah.